All right, we are going to begin. Hello, everyone. Again, it's Daymi Pelaz. This week, we're going to go over measurement, section A of the task list. Let me see who's on. We have 8 participants right now. Great thing. Woohoo. And I'm going to move on to the disclaimer, like we always do. This study group was created by and for students pursuing a BCBA and BCBA certification. None of the members are BCBA, BCBA at this time. The discussions, collaboration, questions, and suggestions during this meeting are meant to help all members have a better understanding of the BACB 4th edition task list concept. However, it is important to know that the leaders and all members of the students are responsible to verify accuracy of the information being provided during these meetings and successfully prepare for the BCBA exam. As students in the field of applied behavior analysis, we must act in a professional and ethical manner at all times. So that means no, we're not going over any questions for test discussed during this meeting. No specific questions from paid resources, no client information. And if we do go over any open sources, it has to be peer-reviewed articles, books, or anything that we need to provide credit to the author. So saying that, we will move on to announcements. For announcements, we're going to do a special thanks to all the leaders for preparing all these meetings and taking so much time going over everything and trying to help everyone. So that's Daphne, Emily, Yanis Bell, Minerva, Mary, Lara, and myself. And I also want to thank the members that are going to at least 1 meeting a week, sometimes more. A lot of members are going more than one. So that's Ashley, Nadia, Jennifer, Pavardi, Mateen, Hadil, Erica, Shamima, and Aliyah.
Thank you all. Thank you.
I know. That's great. A lot of members that are coming continuously. It's great. Okay, so saying that, I want to ask I want to see who can fill in that blank. So measurement data gives blank using IOA. Can anybody figure out what goes in there?
Believability?
What
I'm guessing. I'm just guessing.
That's what I was about to say, believability.
Good. Yep. Perfect. You guys got it.
It is right?
Yep. Believability.
Oh. Guess. Okay, good.
Yeah. So, let's see. I wanted to do. I like this video, and I started it where I thought was important. I wanted you guys to watch it really quick.
All right, because we're working with event recording here, we can look at 3 different types of interobserver agreement. Number 1 is total count interobserver agreement. This is where we're just going to look at the total, independent of the intervals. So we're going to take the smallest number, like Brad's or mine, and divide it by the largest number. And that's going to give us a figure. It sucks, but it's going to give us a figure. The other thing we're going to do is mean count per interval, where we're going to take interval 1 and take the lowest number divided by the highest number. So if I'm lower than Brad, then we're going to take mine divided by Brad's score, or vice versa. Then we're going to get a percentage for that, and we're going to write that for each interval. Then we're going to take an average of all of those intervals. How do you do that? You add up each interval, right? So the percentage that you got between each interval, so the first one, the second one, the third one, we got 8 intervals here. So we're going to add all those up, and then we're going to divide them by the total number of intervals. That's going to give us an average amount of agreement. So in other words, we're saying a mean count per interval, right? The next one is exact count per interval. And this one is where we're only going to say we agree if, or we're only going to count that interval if we actually agree. So then we're going to look at the total number of intervals where Brad and I agree, and then we're going to divide that by the total number of intervals available. As you can see, based on the type of Interobserver agreement that you choose, you're going to get completely different accounts of that agreement. So if we were on total count, which by the way is the worst one that you can do. So on total count, we had 88. On mean count per interval, we had 86. And then of course on the exact count, we had 50. So overall, not too bad, right? Exact count is clearly more strict than any of the others, and total count is the weakest. And let me give you an example why we really, really, really don't like total count.
No, I don't hear anything now.
We'll have the exact same number. We would still have 88% Interobserver agreement, but we never saw behavior happen all at the same time. In fact, there's no overlap whatsoever would be horrific with the Interobserver agreement. This is also an example of why we can't call this inter-rater reliability, because it's not a measure of reliability. It's really a measure of believability. How believable is the data? So a lot of times you like to report multiple. You choose one, but you kind of want to analyze as many as possible to figure out which one best represents. Of course, the exact can be hyper strict. The mean count per interval is a lot of things. So if I was trying to present the data, I would say, no, I'm going to choose the mean count per interval because I like that one thing. I'll probably put the exact count up as well, just to let people know there was some variation. I mean, those meows were coming fast in a couple of those intervals. And for the record, by the way, folks, neither one of us got the correct number according to these observations. I'll let you guys figure out what it was and argue in the comments, but I can tell you for sure that there is.
All right, so I'm gonna stop that right there. So the reason I showed you guys this video is because I took a mock today, and on this mock, there was a question that was related to this, and I actually answered and I put reliability. So because I got it wrong, I wanted to see what the answer would be. And I watched this video, and that showed me that it would actually be believability. And I'm happy you guys got it. But it's something that I figured. A lot of people think that everything is either validity or reliability. And it can be many different terms. So we got to make sure we understand all of the terms completely. So that goes to my next slide. I want to see who can. I have the book open with the glossary, the page, and everything from Cooper. But if anybody can give a definition, in your own words, that would be better. Does anybody know believability? What the definition is for that?
Basically in IOA, I'm not sure, but basically in IOA, because it depends on the agreement of two people.
Turn right at the traffic light.
Yeah, so that's why maybe whatever, if two people agree with something, so the data is believable. Maybe, not 100% sure.
Okay. So what I found on the glossary from Cooper, and what stands out the most to me is that it says that believability makes others believe that the data is trustworthy.
Yes.
Okay, how about for reliability? Anybody?
In reliability, data is repeatable.
Repeating.
It repeats. The data repeats.
Okay.
It's whenever we take data on whenever we measure the same behavior, we get the same data every time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that means our measurement is correct.
Of the same, right?
Yeah, the same event.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And it has to be all under the same circumstance and everything.
Yeah, it yields to the same results.
Yes.
Same
But-
condition, yeah.
But I think for reliability, we should say repeated outcome of the measures of the same event. Because it's like we were saying the other day, if you get on the scale and you get the same weight every time you get on it, but then you go to the doctors and you get the more accurate, because it's closest to the truth when you go to the doctor. So you get the outcome that is repeated.
So that's the thing. They say that reliability is when you get the same results every time, but it doesn't mean that it's accurate.
Yeah, that's why we need to add the word outcomes, not just
Okay. Okay, how about for accuracy? Anyone?
it's
Accuracy is a true value.
True value of the of some measurement, I guess.
Okay.
It matches the true value.
when the outcome matches a true value. Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last is validity.
You said when
Measure what's supposed to measure.
that's the one we were discussing.
So validity, what measures we are measuring. So what measurement we are using, it will be valid if we are using the correct measure. So if we want to count how many instances of behavior, so we should count the frequency. So if we are using the correct measure, it will be valid.
Is not the what
No,
you're supposed to measure is
it's
you measure what you want to measure. Yeah.
yeah, what you're supposed to measure.
yeah, that's validity.
So, measurement, proper measurement.
No, it's like, let's say you have that you're targeting hitting behavior. If you're measuring pinching, then that's not valid. So you're measuring what you're supposed to measure. If the goal is hitting and you're measuring pinching, that's not valid.
So relevant measurement for target behavior. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I noticed in that mock that I took, there were a lot of questions that had these 4 terms in them. And, you know, they word it in a way that makes it confusing so that you can obviously, you know, think about what's the difference between all these terms.
I just remember validity, you know, like not only like behavior, but when you let's say you're gonna measure like a pound and then you have ounces. So you either measure pounds and not ounces.
Okay. All right, next I have equal interval graphs. So in this mock that I took, I actually got a question wrong that I thought was right. And I wanted to see to you guys, what is an AKA for equal interval graphs? Because maybe the mock is wrong.
Cartesian. Isn't it Cartesian plan?
That's the arithmetic chart?
What is it?
The arithmetic chart?
Semi-logarithmic chart? Is that what you're saying?
Arithmetic.
That's not what I have, but I've never heard of that.
Cartesian? Is it the Cartesian plan?
She's saying arithmetic and subtract. Arithmetic and subtract. This one you are saying?
Yep, that's what I got. That's what it says it is. Add, subtract chart.
Yes. Add, subtract chart.
So I have another question for you guys, since you guys knew that. What is the AKA for semi-logarithmic chart?
Semi-logarithmic is SSC, acceleration chart.
Acceleration chart. Okay, there you go.
SSC, yes.
Okay. All right. Another question that I had was
Turn right on Rocky Mountain Drive.
where should the DV and the IV go on an equal interval graph?
Equal interval graph.
DV is DV
That-
is the Y
the
and the
y-axis?
IV is X.
No.
Okay, so
DV? Yes.
so I chose for DV, I chose x-axis, and for IV, I chose y-axis, and it said that I was wrong.
Yeah,
It is wrong.
Okay,
Yeah. DV is a y-axis. DV is a y-axis. IV is a x-axis.
okay,
Yeah, so the IV is always like the days, the out, whatever. It's the sessions, let's say, and the IV is what you are targeting. So it's the Y. Every time you have the rate on the side, let's say rate of elopement, this is on the Y-axis. This is what you're targeting. This is the IV.
so it would be the opposite?
The DV, I mean, sorry, the DV. And the IV is the X, which is independent, whether it's happened, the sessions. Those are independent from what you're targeting.
All right, so the two choices I was
1/4 mile. Arrive at 3280 Rocky Mountain.
x-axis and y-axis, which you're saying is opposite, right? So it's y-axis and
Yes.
x-axis. And then the other choice I had was ordinate
And abscissa.
abscissa.
Yeah. Yeah. Ordinate is DV. Ordinate is a DV y-axis, and abscissa is a x-axis. Or
Yes.
independent variable will be there. IV will be there.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Does anybody know a AKA for choice measures?
Concurrent.
What is it?
Concurrent.
Concurrent preference?
Yes, concurrent.
Okay, so on Meyer page,
Or the matching law. Or the matching law, you can say.
on Meyer page 96, I found that it says that it is preference.
Arriving at 3280 Rocky Mountain Drive.
Can you repeat, please?
On Meyer page 96, I found that it says, we often use such preference or choice measures to help us identify currently powerful reinforcers.
Yeah, that's right. So we can say the matching law, concurrent, and the choice making, they all are same.
So preference and what else? Matching law?
Matching
But
law,
are they
choice
those
making.
AKA, or that's what we
Concurrent.
use it for?
Well, it says here,
I'm going
I
to
don't
open my
remember
agenda.
matching law is an AKA for choice measures.
I don't.
well, I have preference.
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. I interrupted. I'm just going to open my laptop. I just reached home. Sorry.
No problem.
Okay. Yeah.
Does anybody else have, what were you saying? Concurrent, did you say?
Yeah, concurrent, choice making, and matching. They are most of the time same. So many places these are AKs for each other. If you go for a concurrent schedule, under the concurrent schedule, you will say the matching law as well. It will be written there. And so matching law, concurrent schedule, and choice making. These are kind of same thing. Sorry.
Did you guys go over yesterday choice measures or no?
No.
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 Can anybody elaborate more on choice
Well,
measures?
I mean, under choice measure, we have the stimulus preference and the reinforced assessment.
Right.
And under each one, they have categories like a stimulus
all the-
preference.
Right, all the categories that go under the
Yeah.
umbrella of the other ones,
So,
right?
but I don't see an AKA for choice measure.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Oh, it's not choice measure, choice making. I'm talking about choice making. If you will, wait a minute, let me check. I just reached home, so I'll check the book.
I mean,
It's
the
a choice
preference
making.
assessment and the choice making, I think is it can be an AK, but I haven't seen an actual AKA for choice measurement.
The AKAs that I've seen is for single stimulus, AKA successive choice, for paired choice, forced choice.
Correct.
Is that
Okay. So what I was saying, like concurrent, if you study the concurrent schedule of reinforcement, there you will say the choice making. So we make choices among concurrently available event every day. And then they say the choice making as well, choice making, matching law, and concurrent schedule of reinforcement. Maybe you guys are talking about choice measurement. I didn't hear.
Yeah, but they're not, even this, they're not AKAs for each other. You use matching law in the concurrent schedule. That's why they pick one thing rather than the other, because it's based on the matching law, but they're not AKAs.
Okay, so let's just change this to types of choice measures. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so types of choice measures. You said preference assessments, reinforcer assessments.
No, we have stimulus preference and reinforce assessment.
Yeah.
And then they have a big umbrella under all of those.
And we have punisher assessment.
And that all goes under choice measures.
Right.
All right, continuous versus discontinuous behavior.
You mean assessment?
Forms of measurement, sorry. Huh. Continuous versus discontinuous forms of measurement.
So continuous, frequency, latency, IRT.
So let me read out what I found for those. So this is something else I found on the mocks that I did. So continuous measurement, measurement conducted in a manner such that all instances of the response classes of interest are detected during the observation period. So basically, I want to know what's the difference between both of them, because a lot of the questions that I went through were saying,
continuous measurement are behaviors that have like a clear beginning and clear ending, and discontinuous measurement. Let me see.
Okay, so what I have for examples for that is a narrative event recording, ABC event recording, and any direct observation. So frequency and duration, really, that's what would be a continuous measurement.
It's not, isn't it the temporal locus, temporal extent, and repeatability? Aren't those continuous measurements?
Hang on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the discontinuous ones would be whole, partial, and momentary sample.
Right.
Right.
And discontinuous measurements measure continuous behaviors which have a clear,
like free operant, a discrete beginning and ending.
Correct.
Do not require much time to be completed.
That's discontinuous?
So
free operant.
Okay, list the type of continuous measurement.
Have a discrete beginning and ending.
Any else? Any other?
They have the note I have, it said do not require much time to complete. So I don't know.
Discontinuous measurement can produce artifacts.
yes.
Okay, for whole, partial, and all of those, that goes under continuous?
Discontinuous is
Discontinuous.
partial, whole, and momentary.
Momentary and the play check or whatever it's called.
Yes. And discontinuous measurement measures continuous behavior, right?
Yeah.
And then
Correct.
continuous measurement measure discontinuous behavior.
Correct.
So they measure the opposite.
Yeah.
I have on, I was doing this last night and I was so tired. I'm having a hard time remembering. But it was on the, I think, past the big exam. I was looking at all this stuff for A12, and I have 3 procedures for measuring behavior. 1, 2, and 3 would be ETT, event recording, which is a continuous measurement. 2, timing is also a continuous measurement. And 3, time sampling. So I have, for event recording, methods to record the number of time a response occurs. Timing, methods used to measure duration, such as temporal extent, response latency, and inter-response time, which are the temporis locus ones. Let me scroll down here. And of course, the time sampling, which it covers a discontinuous measurement.
Right.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. Procedures for measuring. Procedures for measuring behavior.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On one of the questions that I got, which I got wrong, it's asking which, here there are three different options, but within one of them, there's lots of options. So give me the different types of time sampling methods.
So it would be the
Whole, partial, and
partial,
momentary.
yeah, and time.
Partial, momentary.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
that's
flat check.
The flat check for the group, yeah.
so this is time sampling methods. And then there's 2 more that they have. Does anybody know?
For which ones? For time sampling?
For measuring behavior, procedures for measuring behavior.
Is it event recording and timing? No?
Yeah. It should be those 3. Event recording, timing, and time sampling.
Yeah, no?
Yeah, event recording timing, yes. Sorry. Event recording and timing. Okay. Can anyone tell me the advantages and disadvantages of permanent products?
Advantage and disadvantages of permanent product?
Yep.
Advantage is there is no need to do the observation full time.
Yeah.
Okay. No need to observe. And how about a disadvantage? Because that's pretty much the only advantage, that you don't have to observe. So what happens if someone has? So what happens if
you're not sure?
Mm-hmm.
No, that's just me saying it. I don't know if it's
Okay.
correct. If someone else did it.
Okay. So maybe caregiver completed the task. Okay, but what happens if something, if a severe behavior happens in between or something? So basically,
it can be dangerous. It can be dangerous, yeah.
Right. So it could be a safety concern because you can't witness what happened in between.
Right.
Right.
So the main point here is you can't witness. There's no witnessing what happened between the beginning and the ending. You're just seeing the ending result. So I had a question that had this, and the answer was that you can't witness it. So
Wow.
The answer was what?
the answer was for
Disadvantage.
it was an accept question for permanent product. I can't give the exact question, but I can tell you that it was an accept question, and it was asking what are the disadvantages, or what are the advantages of permanent product, and then it would say accept, and then that was one of the choices.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop the video, and I'm gonna start a new one because we're gonna do a Cooper quiz with 12 questions. Okay.
Okay.